Hi guys, here we are with Lagoon again.
So it's part 4. Here we are to give you lots of fun tidbits and fun facts about sailing in the Med.
So Marnie, if you want to go again, let's run the questions. Allow a decent bit of time to stock the boat. You're fitting out a house.
In a foreign language,
In
if
a
you don't
foreign
speak
language.
French, you learn it.
Everything around, everything is there in Les Sables alone to get your bed linen, your crockery, everything. But it does take a fair bit of time. You are doing it in another language. It is really enjoyable at the end of the day though.
This is our 4th season, which is great. After you sail the boat for a couple of seasons, each year you go, oh, I'd love this, or oh, I'd love that. Currently, we're contemplating whether or not we put on a hydraulic passerelle. We love the passerelle, but to be able to get, not have to get the passerelle out every time, it's about making the boat easier and more comfortable.
Making our life easier.
And making our life, and so sailing, so we have the Code Zero, which is our favorite sail, as you know from previous videos. Mike loves it. But with the furling, you have to go down to the bow and
Do it by hand.
do it by hand. So this last winter, we put on an electric furler for the Code Zero, and it has transformed our sailing completely.
Probably use the Code Zero almost as much as the jib now.
Yeah.
It's so easy to use.
Yeah, as well as the main, we now have in-boom furling, and it is 100% the easiest thing. So fantastic to use.
To be able to put the sail up and down single-handed,
Yeah.
choose your reef point. Really easy.
Really great.
Having guests on board. We
It's
have
so
a
much
lot.
fun.
We have a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's part of what we're about. We love entertaining people, family and friends. Got to be a little bit careful when getting too many on board. And I think the early days we were
The more the merrier.
more the merrier, but also we'd say, yes, we'll meet you there.
Yeah.
And very quickly you realise the wind doesn't let you do that
Yes.
always. So now we tend to make it very clear to people, we will be in this area. And they'll say a few days before we, are due to meet them, where? And we go, we don't know.
We say weather dependent.
So it's just a case of getting used to that.
Yeah,
But-
and the people who have come year after year,
Yeah.
actually now, no, they just go, we're not going to ask you where you are, maybe till the weekend before. And if we can give them, a general area, where in the...
And it tends to be, at worst, 2 hours away by taxi.
Yeah.
But to nail it to a point is silly. Do remind your friends to bring soft bags. It's quite funny when you pick them up at a town quay and they have these enormous wheelie suitcases, and they're only coming for 5 days, but I don't know how. It has to be 40 kilos worth of luggage. Soft bags, folks.
So one of the things that first season, we always went into a marina to pick up our guests. We thought, you've got to be in a marina so that they can get on and off on the boat. And then we realized that we can be anchored in a beautiful bay, dinghy in, because there's always usually dinghy access in every bay that we go into. And it's such a novelty. And our guests arrive and they go, wow, this is so cool that we're actually getting on a dinghy and dinghying our way to the boat. And it really makes them feel like this is the most incredible experience that they have ever had.
Yeah, they do enjoy it.
Yeah. I think for us, understanding your guests' needs makes for a better experience for everybody.
And actually, you're right there, because we've now learned to say to people, some people, new people, when they're getting on board, what do you want to experience?
Yeah.
Do you want to be at a town quay? Would you like to be in a marina? Would you like to be in a secluded bay?
Yeah, because
because we're lucky we get to do all of this all the time. Tell us what you want to do.
yeah, so there's so many different options. It makes it more enjoyable for us if what we provide to them meets their expectations, I think is really what it comes
And
down
as I
to.
said, we're lucky we get this every day of the week. So
Yeah, so that's sort of what it comes down to. Yeah.
provisioning, well, wine. Okay, make sure you got enough wine, beer, spirits.
And there's lots of storage. So I highly recommend, you find all those little hidey holes, because especially with dry stuff, it's important. And then I guess when you go from destination to destination, you can plan and you can check on, there's different apps and they tell you what's available. If there's an amazing butcher, we were just in Mona Vasia. The butcher was incredible.
So look, you're never far away from anywhere. Maximum a couple of days. So you're not provisioning as though you're crossing the Atlantic. It's really quite easy in the Med. A lot of fun as you go from country to country, different cuisines and so on, be it French, Italian, Spanish, Greek. You're amongst it the whole time. It's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, and then I guess because we have guests on every week, as you know, before our guests arrive, I'll write to them and say, what are your likes and dislikes? You know, and how do you want us to provision the boat? So we've had vegans on board. So we had a week with vegan food, which was awesome.
I didn't stick to the diet, I'm sorry.
But and it's really easy to do, and there's plenty of places to put everything with the 2 fridges, plus the freezer, plus the bar fridge. There's ample space and ample opportunity, plus the little pantry thing, plus.
Probably we overstocked.
Oh yeah.
The fridge will be full from the day go, and really you're trying to find something that's at the bottom of the fridge. You don't need it full.
Because everywhere you go, you can plan for the mini mart, the fruiterer, because when you're in the Med, everything's there and easily accessible. So yeah, so you might want to say, oh well, if I'm going to a bay where there's nothing, then you say, well, we usually have pasta on board.
Yeah. So have your staples there that you can always throw together. But we've never gone hungry.
Except for Mike hasn't really caught a fish yet. But we keep trying.
No, well, I did the first 2 years, but since then they're obviously avoiding the boat.
So I was going to say, the one fish that we do see all the time, and we're really fortunate, and a lot of people have said we've been blessed, is dolphins. And it's a daily dose of dolphins. Even in the Med, it's incredible. And when our guests come on board, the first thing they say to us is, when are we going to see the dolphins? And I go, I can't guarantee that. And then sure enough, we're really lucky.
Practically everybody gets a dolphin shot.
A dolphin shot, turtles.
Yep.
And so it's super exciting. Thanks for tuning in again. We hope that the information that we've provided to you in this video and in the others is really helpful. And
we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.